Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good afternoon to all my dear friends and my colleagues out there who have a passion towards economics and commerce. Today I'm back again with one of the videos where we'll focus on the what are the opportunities when you complete your bachelor's and master's degree. And I have kept something for the non-economics, non-commerce and non-management students where I will make them aware about the basics of the economics. And you truly will believe that because economics touches every human being, because we all know we have a basic thumb rule of demand and supply, where we all go to the market and purchase goods and services. We are the producers, we are the consumers of goods and services in the market, as well as in our J&K we are the resource owners also. We have our resources, we lease out for different things. So now I will start. This will be the design of my lecture. I will start with the basic introduction about the economics, followed by the motivation, because there are some of my friends who are not from non-economics background. So I will tell them what's the motivation behind it, and I will focus on some of the inventions and innovations in the economics. You might have heard about the inventions in economics only in science, medicine and engineering. No, we have a biggest inventions ever which history has proved in itself. And some of the innovations starting, I will start from the concept of money to present day carbon credits. And after that, this will be my focus. I will focus on where you have to study after your class 11th and 12th. What are the options available in India and abroad? Because most of my students have, those who have visited outside valley and outside country, they have some different comments regarding the career options. That's why I'm starting this video lecture series. After that, what are the options available when you complete your master's or bachelor's program? So where you have to work. So that will be again my focus. Moving ahead, now economics is always a fascinating subject because we talk about the taxes, we talk about the money, we talk about the budget in economics, we talk about the purchasing, we talk about the GST, we talk about the other related things which touch every human being on this earth, especially when it's a crisis time like COVID-19. So in that times we have seen that the electronics goods are costly nowadays. What's the rationale behind it? And economics has the answer. So those things, that's why it's a fascinating for everyone. Everyone want to talk about it. Everyone want to know about the taxes. Everyone want to know about the Indian economy as a whole, Pakistan economy as a whole, world economy as a whole. Again, so it has to be, everyone want to talk about it. You might have seen in the news report, everyone talks about the different economic policies, RBI guidelines. You talks about the Ministry of Finance. So everyone want to know about it. Even my friends who are in medical and engineering background, they know good economics. After that, how to study economics? That's again a good question which I have posing to you. It's not something which usually you might have seen the early root memorization. No, not at all. It's purely a conceptual subject where that's why engineering students are excelling in economics. They are getting admissions in IGIDR Mumbai, which later I will touch upon. And economics is an unfinished science because starting from the earlier definitions, starting from the William Petty, Adam Smith, later Marshall, or Keynes economy, or Paul Samuelson, there are n number of definitions. But quoting all those, it's purely a decision-making science. So it's a decision-making science. That's the simplest definition. It's a decision-making science. That's why everyone want to be want to opt to economics, even though he has a other engineering, medical background with him. But later on, if he want to have a top position, like he want to be at the Planning Commission earlier, and now NITI, National Institute of Transforming India, which is the brain behind all the planning processes all over the India. The population of 1.32 crore plus population is governed by this body. And we have you might have seen RBI, Reserve Bank of India. That's why people are fascinating. In Delhi University colleges, it's if we talk about the Delhi University North Campus colleges, it's 99.8% is the merit. So it's always a fascinating and everyone want to study economics, even though he is formally or informally. If you are getting a government job, you want to know about the tax system of India. You want to know the budget. हमारे घर में चीज़ें महंगी होंगी कि सस्ती होंगी? What will happen to our orchards in Kashmir? What about the Essential Commodities Act? So all those things, when we talk about, it's purely in decision-making science. Now moving ahead, answer lies here. There are two basic principles of economics. One is we all, as a human beings, we know that the resources available for us are scarce in nature. If we talk about the money as a resource, if we talk about land as a resource, if we talk about water as a resource, what's the definition of resource? If we talk about a resource has three qualities a resource should have. One is it should have a potential energy. You might be aware about, if you are a science student, have read, it should have a potential energy. Second, it should have a marketability. That's the second characteristics of a resource. It should have a marketability. And the third aspect is it should have a sustainability. These are the three characteristics. Then and only we call it a resource, and it has a scarce nature. That's a basic question from my side to you all. If these three characteristics lies with the resource, it's a scarce in nature. Why it's a scarce in nature? Because we have unlimited wants. I will quote here the simplest example, which usually you might have seen in earlier videos. That's regarding Warren Buffett. If we talk about the Warren Buffett, is the richest person, or a Bill Gates, or a Anil Ambani. If we talk about the Anil Ambani in India, Ambani Group, Anil Ambani. If we talk about the Anil Ambani group, they are earning crores in minutes, or even sometimes in seconds in stock market. So can we call them, if Anil Ambani is having 1 crore plus income in minutes, or even sometimes in seconds, he is having the property all over the world as the Reliance Group. So still we say उसके पास भी resources कम है. The answer आपके side से होगा, if you are a non-economic student, you will say no, you will have all the money in the world. No, but to me, to the student of economics, he have the scarce resources, because उसकी जो ज़रूरतें हैं वो unlimited हैं and keep on changing with the passage of time. They keep on changing with the passage of time. जब हम बच्चे होते हैं हमारी ज़रूरतें एक हैं, जब हम बड़े हो जाते हैं हमारी ज़रूरतें एक हैं. And human wants are unlimited in nature and keep on changing with the time. Even though, to me, अगर आप personally मुझे कहेंगे कि resources scarce है कि नहीं, it's a relative concept. If India के पास जो land available थी 1950s में, it was producing some only 40 million tons food grains. उससे कम land पे आज 300 plus million tons produce होता है. तो ये मेरा बेसिक क्वेश्चन आपसे ये है कि इफ वी हैव अ लैंड, सेम लैंड इज अवेलेबल इवन लेस देन दैट, एंड वी आर प्रोड्यूसिंग मोर, सो दैट मीन्स हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज की ऑप्टिमाइजेशन का इस्तेमाल का एक बड़ा क्वेश्चन हमारे पास है, जिसका सोल्यूशन इकोनॉमिक्स में है. सो दीज आर द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल जिससे इकोनॉमिक्स वजूद में आ गई. इकोनॉमिक्स इज एज ओल्ड एज द मैनकाइंड, बिकॉज उसके पास भी ज़रूरतें बहुत थी, बनी आदम के पास भी ज़रूरतें बहुत थी, लेकिन रिसोर्सेज पूरा करने के लिए कम थे. एंड ऑल द थ्री कैरेक्टर्स, दिस इज द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स विच दिस इज द नेचुरल साइंस हैज गिवन इट. पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, सेकेंड मार्केटेबिलिटी इज द प्राइस, सिंपल प्राइस, जिसको ये सबसे बड़ी इन्वेंशन इकोनॉमिक्स में मानी जाती है. प्राइस किसी, वाई दिस मार्कर और दिस बोर्ड कॉस्ट 5 लाख रुपी, that's an important question for which economics answers. And third is the nowadays the United Nations Environmental Program has a concept called sustainability. We talk about the sustainability in all aspects. Now moving ahead, this is the basic definition of economics derived from the word economies, which means that household management. Kashir purchase when a gar chalana chivana economic. Even at Gupta's time, Chanakya, you might have heard a big name in Indian economy nowadays is Chanakya's philosophy of economy. He says that it's about statecraft, art of statecraft. At the Gupta's time, he was the finance minister. He tells that it's a statecraft. State को चलाने को economics कहते हैं. जैसे हम घर चलाने को economics कहते हैं. In the similar way, एक मुल्क को एक स्टेट को चलाने को economics कहते हैं. And later on, moving ahead, there are n number of definitions starting from Adam Smith, who is also known as the father of modern economics. And his book, famous, known as Wealth of Nations. It's a very famous book which I recommend all the economics loving students or teachers to read that book, Wealth of Nations. And these are the definitions based on the wealth, because in earlier times it was economics was defined on the basis of wealth of a nation. That's why this definition dominates for a longer period of time. But later on, another thought came. They have a strong belief on material welfare. The Marshall talks about the maximization of welfare. He talks about how we can maximize the welfare of human beings, and that's more important. And that was advancement of a definition, because he was the leader of neoclassical economics. As Smith, Adam Smith was the classical economist, leader of a classical economist, and Marshall was the leader of the neoclassical economist. And his main focus was on maximization of material welfare for an individual. And Pigot also talks about material welfare, but as well as he talks about the social welfare. Like we have a government, concept of government, and he was the one who was supporting that concept. Moving ahead, this is the definition which is close to my heart. That's on the basis of scarcity of choice, and that's Linus Robbins' definition. It talks about the behavioral part, where relationship between ends and scarce means, and that definition is I can say quite valid, and as well as Paul Samuelson's definition is very close to my heart. One is the Robinson talks about we have a scarce resources, and which have alternate uses. We can use the resource for multiple, and we think a number of times how we can use money. Should we use the money for constructing a house, or should we use the money for studying our child to study master's or bachelor's program in Delhi or Oxford or MIT or Harvard? So that's a decision which we should make. That decision is a science of choice or decision making science. That's why I simply say, if someone will ask me what's economics, I say him it's a decision making science or a science of choice between ends and scarce means. And moving ahead, these are the motivation behind why we should study economics, and why we should love economics. Because I have kept some of the names, big names in the history, or this is the I can say the person everyone is knowing this man, even though he did not got the Nobel Prize, because he died early, 1946. In economics, 1969 onwards, it was Nobel Prize was awarded to economists who have contributed a lot for the global economy and as aggregate. So this person saved the world in 1930s when there was a Great Depression. Great Depression simply mean कि पैसा लोगों के पास था, लेकिन मार्केट में जाते थे, इसमें कुछ नहीं आता था. There is an example available in my earlier videos कि लोग पैसा जलाते थे, उससे गर्मी करते थे, rather than buying a kind of wood for during winters. So that's a depression. लोगों के पास नौकरियां नहीं थी. जैसे आजकल in COVID crisis we don't have jobs in the market. So that's a kind of a recession, or if they're followed by the depression. And you might have aware about the 2007 onwards recessionary in US economy. There has been a job cuts. जैसे आजकल COVID-19 में firms are doing job cuts at a large scale. But this person, he gave up one of the beautiful philosophy that's called even though this is a pure English, he gave a philosophy: dig the holes, and fill them up. Fill them up. It looks a simple thing, but this is the philosophy which has created millions of jobs in the world during 1930s. That was the era of the Great Depression, and he has a revolutionary zeal. His contribution is lot to the economic field. He has created a Keynesian economy. So he has contributed a lot to the world economy, especially his concepts like on macroeconomic aspects, the theory of general theory of employment. He has created the concept of interest, which you might have seen. You all are about the interest economies, interest-based economies, or the banking structure. And he is the one who is the founder of those things. He has created the concept of deficit financing, a revolutionary concept in itself, deficit financing. He is the person who has created millions of jobs. So that's why this should be the motive. This should be the ideal person behind us, so that we have a passion. We will generate a passion towards economics. And another name, Milton Friedman. I usually quote his. He says that money is like a sixth sense. जो पैसा हमारे पास है, usually in science we study only we have 5 senses, but he says that money is like a sixth sense. Sixth sense. और बाद में कहता है कि which makes all the 5 senses work. Which makes all the 5 senses work. Which makes all the 5 senses work. And that's true. You all will agree with me, even though you are an economics student or non-economics, but that's true. He is the person who is a Nobel laureate from America. He has a good contribution to the American economy. He was a advisor to the government, and he has introduced a lot of interventions in the US economy. And these are the persons who have made America so great. Another economist, we have Paul Samuelson. His book is the best, the widely circulated book in the history is Paul Samuelson's Introductory Economics. And that has it has the 80th edition. Millions and millions of books have been distributed all over the world of Paul Samuelson. He has a lot of contribution to the economics. And who will forget this person who has given the concept called the Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx. And he was the anti against the capitalism thought. And he created his own socialistic pattern of society, which India as a now is opting for capitalist and a socialistic model. And he has a solutions in the socialist pattern of society, because he truly believes that capitalism has a self-decay. Followed by, we have an n number of list. This is a person belonging from basically Indian origin. He got a Nobel Prize in 1998 for his contribution in the welfare developmental and the welfare economics. And his books are great contribution to the mankind, because he touched the philosophical aspect of economics, ethical aspect of economics. Economics does not talk about the markets only in terms of pricing only. It talks about the ethical aspects of sale and purchase. So he is the man behind that. Moving ahead, this is the person who has contributed a lot at a base zero level. Muhammad Yunus from Bangladesh. He has given a good contribution in the form of a microcredit or microfinance, which is properly known as Grameen Bank concept. That's why he got the Nobel Prize. So he has make a good change. Even today, Bangladesh is exporting n number of goods and services because of this person. Now moving ahead, this is the person who got the Nobel Prize, Professor Banerjee. This is the last year he got the Nobel Prize, and he is one of the co-founders of Abdul Latif Khan Poverty Action Lab, because poverty is one of the important challenges to the mankind all over the world, and economists are one who are devising the anti-poverty programs. They are devising the definition of poverty, and on the definition of, on the basis of that definition of poverty, all the anti-poverty programs all over the world, starting from World Bank to Indian level, they are based on those economists' analysis or the definition of poverty, either absolute or relative. And this face is known to everyone. He being a two-time Prime Minister of India, and he is the one who has introduced reforms in India. We usually call them New Economic Policy, or LPG, Liberalization, Privatization and Globalization. And his book on economic reforms have changed the complete scenario of India. Especially before 91, it was the inward-looking economy. And after 1991, it is outward. India is thinking about the FDI, FIIs. And he is the person who has initiated, because as a leader you need to have a qualities of we usually call that Phillips model, which I will talk in future videos. Phillips model, there is a one I, a quality of a leadership. He need to initiate things, initiate things, and he was the one who initiated it when he was the governor of Reserve Bank of India. Now, one of my favorite economists, and he is the one, we call it कि इसकी tweet से stock market हिल जाता है, Raghuram Rajan. He is the one who resigned from the post of governor of Reserve Bank of India because of some ideological conflict with the present day government. And his contribution, he has predicted this COVID-19 crisis in his book, The Third Pillar. He is talking about the things like the market and the state will fail, miserably fail for restoring the basics of the community. And she is now leading from the front, from the female economist. She is basically from Indian origin, studied at Delhi University, at Delhi School of Economics, later on heading the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the R&D division. So now the road ahead. I have given a broad scenario what these should be our motivation. If you really want to contribute to the larger extent in the economy, then you have to study economics, accounts or the basics, because they contribute a lot at a macro level. So these are the focus areas, the scope of economics. Starting from household management, which we talked about, the consumer theory, we talk about the business management. It's the economist who talks about the producer theory, that the production process. Distribution aspects, we talk about the economic justice, the theory of welfare, economic justice. That's an important concept. Usually economists are blamed that they are the one who are creating the pollution all around the world. They are thinking about only the economic growth. No, not at all. I argue this with the help of a statement that we talk about the economic development, and more specifically we talk about the sustainable development. It's the economists who have given the concept of sustainable development. We have invented the concept like carbon credits. Now, economics helps us in trade and world economic order, new economic order. We have talked about WTO, who acts as the watchdog on international trade. It talks about the risk, competition in the markets. It talks about we have one of the innovative concepts that's called a game theory in economics. So these are some of the areas where we are focusing on. These are the basic areas, starting from household management, where everyone, every individual is touched, reaching to a game theory or the risk or a actuarial science, where you invest some money, like you might have listening to the different TV ads where you see regarding the risk. But economics predict what will be the outcome. If you invest in some company in stock market, how much you are going to earn in future. Now, these are some of the inventions. Demand supply concept, production possibility, consumer surplus. We have a budgets, we have a carbon credits, we have a money like concepts in economics, we have a shadow pricing, and number of concepts or economics. Now, moving ahead, These are the some of the skills which an economics student should have. After that, I will stop. The next part will be carried out. What are the skills which an economics student should have? One is he should have all the 21st century skills. If you want to be a good economist, you want to be pursue careers in economics, what you want to have, you should have a 4 C's or IMT or Phillips. You should have a creativity within you, because now solution does not lie with you. Have to be a creative enough to find solution to the world problems. Like we have a COVID-19 pandemic as a big problem, so you need to be a creative enough for these. After that, because I have a one video series on this 21st century, which I request all and I suggest all students of economics to opt for those skills, especially information media and technology skills. That's an important skill. We are connected to each other because of technology. So that means technology skill we should have. We should have a media skill. We should know which part of economic news we should take up and which we should leave. That's again important aspects. And as an economics student, you should have a good mathematical knowledge. That's again, usually people are not opting for economics because of mathematics. No, mathematics is a language which makes economics very easy to understand and very scientific. We have one branch called econometrics. So you should have a basic mathematical knowledge. I suggest all those who are in class 11th and 12th, they should opt mathematics as a 5th subject, as an optional subject. Preferably if they can opt as a main subject in our JK Bose or CBSE, well and good. If not, then they should opt as a optional subject, because you can't get admission in all over the India without having mathematics at your 12th level. Second, as a student of economics, you should be aware about all the happenings around you, and especially at the national level and the international level. All the current affairs you should know, and especially you should try to analyze that critically. Another important thing, as a student of economics, you should have a research mind. That's again a good important skill in 21st century. You should not believe in the rote memorization. What was the trend long back? No, it's a pure conceptual and research based. There can be n number of theories suggested by the economists during the early 19th or 20th century. Now there can be challenged nowadays. So you should challenge these theories in our own context. After that, you should be motivated enough, because you need to have a good amount of patience while dealing with the different concepts of economics, especially econometrics, mathematical economics, microeconomics, because you have to deal with the numbers, you have to deal with the figures. You should be patient enough. You'll love it, but only thing is patience is the key. Another important thing is, as a student, you should be able to communicate well, especially at the public forum. When someone at your family talks about the budget, in the month of Feb, family talks about the budget, कि कौन सी चीज़ महंगी हो रही, कौन सी चीज़ सस्ती. You should be able to say. If someone will ask you a question about the repo rate, it has been increased, it has been decreased, what will be its effect on common individual? If tax base has been increased or decreased, इसका असर क्या पड़ेगा एक आम individual पे? You should be able to communicate it well. You should be able to communicate on tax system. You should be able to communicate on RBI's policy on its effect on individual. So that's again an important skill. Moving ahead, there are the few things which I should keep. One is the bachelor's degree program. We have a BA honors program. We have a BSc program. We have a BS program. These are the 3 programs which you should pursue. You can pursue after your class 12th. Honors program is the best program, because here main is the economics, especially all the core papers are studied in honors program. You have a BSc program provided in Madras, which later on I will discuss. We have a BS program usually provided in abroad, especially in UK or USA or other countries, and some of the international universities which have their sub-offices in India, they also provide the BS program. Like we have a one OP Jindal Global University, they provide the Bachelor of Science and Economics program. Moving ahead, this is the some of the highlights what we study in the microeconomics, which I will leave for you because you know it well. After that, what are the options where you can study? The prestigious institutes in world is obviously it's a dream for every economic student to visit or talk to a professor from London School of Economics, followed by the Oxford or MIT, followed by Harvard, and you can't believe there are the good number of students from the Kashmiri origin, from the Jammu, who are somewhere in US. Especially they have obtained a on the basis of scholarship, because the fee in sum up, because Harvard being a private university, the fee is very high. So you need to think about the scholarship options that I will discuss in future videos. And some of the options in India, which is a good option, is Jindal University. These are the topmost colleges in India, especially Lady Sri Ram College, Stephen College, which you might be aware that the merit list is around 99, 98 से कम जिसकी परसेंटेज हो वो सोच भी नहीं सकता है ऐसे कॉलेजेस का जहाँ पे इकोनॉमिक्स द बेस्ट इकोनॉमिक्स इज टॉट इन दीज कॉलेजेस, स्पेशली लेडी श्री राम कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स, स्टीफन्स में, हिंदू में, मिरिंडा हाउस में, नॉर्थ कैंपस के जो कॉलेजेस हैं. फॉलोड बाय क्रिस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी इन बैंगलोर जो सूट करता है कश्मीरी स्टूडेंट्स को, बिकॉज हमारा कशीर पोचल नाम मातामाल चॉइस बैंगलोर, वहाँ का वेदर हमें सूट करता है. दैट्स वाई यू विल फाइंड गुड नंबर ऑफ जो मेरे स्टूडेंट्स रह चुके हैं जो यहाँ इस यूनिवर्सिटी में आजकल हैं. उसके बाद निम्स पुणे, दे हैव ऑफिसेस इन इवन वन ऑफ द सेंटर्स एट NCR Delhi also. They are providing BSc Economics. And after that we have a diff set of colleges. Even Jamia Millia is also preferable by Kashmiri students. They have one beautiful program, we call it a BACA, Bachelor of Arts with Computer Applications. That's the highest paid course in Delhi, Bachelor of Arts with Computer Applications, which is only provided by the Jamia Millia Islamia Economics Department. We have a master's program. We have a similarly MA, MSc or MS program or business administration MBA program with specialization in business economics. These are the different programs all over the world provided by different institutes or universities. This is the syllabi. And these are the prestigious institutes. मैं मोटे मोटे पहले नाम लूँगा. Delhi School of Economics, one of the best institutes in the world, or where we study usually the hardcore microeconomics, macroeconomics, mathematical economics, monetary economics. Indian Statistical Institute, you might be knowing, a good institute to study economics. IJDR, where I have applied 2-3 times. It's a prestigious institute. It's funded by Reserve Bank of India, and fee is negligible. Only thing you have to clear the entrance test, where if you have a good mathematics background, statistical background, and IITs have introduced MSc program in economics, a good prestigious program, famous all over the world, especially IIT Delhi का जो recently MSc economics का program है, that has been rated number 1. Ashoka University. Similarly, we have a good number of institutes, set of institutes which you can yourself Google and you will find. But I am motivating for you best institutes in India. Now there are set of even good universities like Banaras Hindu universities, AMU is there, even Bangalore we have a good institutes. These are the, and I have kept a list of big universities, big names who have a good name in teaching economics. Now what are the options where after you complete your, this is the last but one slide, when you will complete your bachelor's and master's degree, where you have to, you will find yourself. If you have a good economics concept building rather than the percentage, no. These institutes, these MNCs, these world level research does not ask for degrees, no. They ask for the, we call it a, you should have a knowledge component, but at the same time they focus on skill as well as your attitude. We call it a KSA model. KSI model is the famous model where being MBA graduate, and a student should have a knowledge man, but at the same time, most important is the skill part and the attitude. So these, if you want, if you have a good master's degree, bachelor's degrees with you, you will be at the Ministry of Economic and Corporate Affairs. You will find yourself after clearing Indian Economic Service exam. You will find yourself in the Ministry of ministries like Economic and Corporate Affairs. You can be an independent economist. You can be a professional economist. You can be a consultant. You can be a researcher in world organization like World Bank, we call IBRD. You can be at IMF. You can be at WTO. You can be at International Labour Organization. You can be at Asian Development Bank, because there is a vast scope for economics students to land themselves, and with the average salary of ranging from 13 lakh to I can say annual package of some 13 crore or more than that, even though it can be less in COVID times. But usually if you are a student from Delhi School of Economics, companies can give a good package. After that, we have another option. It's called banking and financial institutions. We have a good banking chain all over the world, both our financial institutions, like we have a insurance institution, stock market, and other thing. We have a job and number of job options. After that, we have a financial research organizations where you can find yourself. If you are good, you have a hold on financial economics, you can be at this place. After that, you can be a entrepreneurship, which is again a good concept nowadays. You can be a good entrepreneur, because economists will have a depth of market knowledge, because you need to know market. If you know the market, you can be a good entrepreneur, you can be a good businessman. And obviously the teaching jobs is again a good option, especially at Delhi. You have the students are looking for a good quality economics teacher. These are some of the job options all over the world. You can be a business development manager, you can be a data scientist, you can be a diplomatic service officer like Indian Revenue Service officer, you can be a foreign service, you can be a policy maker, you can be a policy analyst. Analyst is a good job, where good number of jobs at analyst level. And it's the top level jobs I talk about. You can be a credit analyst, you can be a loan, you can be a portfolio manager. Because लोगों के पास पैसा है, but where to spend that, that's again a portfolio manager. If you are good, you have a good bent on the economic concepts, you can be there. You can be a personal finance advisor to different businessmen, different even actors, or you can be a business reporter. You can be a supply chain analyst. So there are the n number of jobs available for economics graduates. You can be an advisor to the government, top level jobs. You can be a consultant, financial consultant. You can be investment analyst, where you can have a good package. You can be a member of different planning boards. Even though you have a simple master's or a doctorate degree, even people are looking for you. I am fortunate, Anna, that people are writing to you. You can be a part of our group. You can be a good, I can say, the planning departments. These are the n number of options are available for you. Now, concluding this session, I have discussed a few things. First, I have discussed that we have opportunities available with you beyond medical engineering. For a balanced society, we need a good doctors, we need a good engineers, we need a good politicians, we need a good economists. Why I am motivating you for because I want a paradigm shift. Because country is rich, country is powerful today because of its economists. Because USA is the example with us. So USA is all powerful because of its economics. You can another part I have discussed. There are n number of opportunities for you for your bachelor's program, for your master's program. Now, most important part which I want to discuss, you keep explore it. Explore the different options all over the world, not only in India, not only in Delhi, but outside the world. Third important aspect is once you complete your bachelor's and master's degree from any prestigious institute of India or abroad, you will get a definitely you will get a top level job. So that's what my aim and motivation of discussing few things with you. You and I will be excited and happy because during my TV classes I get calls from parents or some science graduates. They want to know about different concepts like if there's a like today petrol is at a high price, what's the rationally behind it? So it's good. So this is my contact. You are free to talk to me on this. You can write to me on the said email ID, and I thank you very much for this patient listening. Thank you. Sir.